You know when you back out to the lobby and your teammate's already in replay?
Yeah, he's just like
you died first and they're in replay already. You're like, oh.
You don't even say anything. You just know they're looking at how you died. Yeah.
No, bro.
Hello, and welcome back to the FNtasia podcast in a new light. We're going to jump right into it because I made a tweet this week asking people what's the number one thing that they hate about their duo partner, or the number one thing that they duo partner did that they hated. And we had a lot of different answers this week, and I'm not sure where to start on them.
Start on the most juicy one. Actually, no. Start on the
I
most
can start with yours.
mid-take. Start on a mid-take and then ramp it up, you know?
I mean, the most mid-take I've seen so far is that the teammate has just fallen off of high ground. But I feel like that's not something you can actually actively blame your teammate for. Is it falling off high? I don't know.
No, I'm fuming. If we're on height, like we're set up to win a game, and you just fall, like we've all been there, right? Like you think it's a win, like it's a done deal. We're on height, we're stacked, and then like your teammate just falls. I'm dropping you for that. It's over. I will do it myself. I've done it myself many times.
Oh, well, yeah.
But if it's me, I'm dropping it.
And then and you go, oh, you know?
Yeah.
You probably have the most experience with that of all people, Reese, from what I've seen you and DJ play in Middle East at least.
I had a thought of one game we played last season when you said this, where I had the grapple blade, and it was the Chain of Hades. That was the one. And it was just when people started realizing the Chain of Hades was good, and I had it on height, and I was trying to like pick up some loot from below when we were playing height, and I accidentally like left clicked and did the swing animation and just fell off a height all the way. And I think we ended up coming second that game because I wasted so many mats climbing back up.
Well, you didn't die at least. I mean, at least
it was
they
like
didn't
close though. It was close. We did lose because of that play though, so it's a bit different.
Yeah.
I saw another one that was really good. What's something your duo partner does that you hate? I got carried, so I dropped them because it hurt my ego.
Bro's suffering from success. He was getting carried too much. He's like, you know what? I feel too bad about this. I can't let this happen for any longer.
I'm surprised Harry didn't say, is this a queasy tweet
that,
or something?
That was my tweet about Aiden. That's why I ended up dropping him. That's what happened.
No, it's real though. I hate imagine like when you're playing with someone that's like way better than you, and they're just like constantly solo. It almost gets obnoxious at a certain point. It's like, we get it, bro. Like, you're better than me. Like, bro.
I can relate to these feelings you're talking about right now. You know, my damage ratio is saying a lot. Let me see. If I'm in the same position here, do I want to give up? And just because my teammate is doing better than me, fuck no, bro. Hell no. Hell no, bro. Carry me to those placements.
I feel like it's an ego thing, because if I was me, I would actually be pissed, because you know what, no one's better than me. You know, like I gotta be the best one in the team. That's gotta be an ego thing. The thing with that is, I wonder for some duos you have, you know, obviously the star player, like, you know, when Venno played with Queasy, Venno is a star player. Malibuka, he gets all the credit. Peterball gets all the credit. Like, it's similar to that. I feel like at some point your duo's gonna start hating you because you're getting all the clout and all the everything, you know. It's not like you're jealous of them doing better than you. It's just like they're getting all the credit, which sucks.
I feel like
they deserve all the credit, bro. Like, you suck.
I mean,
your
true.
ass. Like, they're great, you know.
I feel like there's also some players who like just lend better to being the beta, you know, or the like
beta male.
Like, you have to have like, you just can't have too dominant, you know. Like, you have one person has to be a bit submissive. Like, there are some pros.
Sorry, what are these words?
Pause. There are some pros who, like, I genuinely think like can't not be the best player in the team. Like, if they're not the best player, like, they can't operate as good. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we see that as well in a lot of like esports and sports, where like people are better at being the star than they are at being like a support or just a lesser player.
100%. And also, it's like, if it's the same vein of thought, it's like if you get two betas together, you know, nothing really happens. You get those duos where nothing happens. You know? DJ resub, but you get two beta males.
No firepower.
There's no firepower, no testosterone.
So, firstly,
0.4 damage ratio.
Never watched a DJ scream. The amount he screams max, you'll know he's got some fucking firepower in there, right? That's just myself who has no firepower.
I feel like... Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, with the alpha beta thing, I think there's a lot of duos which having the pressure on someone else just makes you perform better. You have the freedom to do whatever you want. No one's really looking at you to do anything within the duo. You have your teammate who's expected basically to be the one to make the impact plays, and you're just there to support them on anything that happens. So you have no pressure going into a lot of games.
For sure.
I feel like this particular one is most relatable to someone like Mongo and Savage, because like Mongo had to not be the star player anymore, you know, after being the star player for so long, coming back to the game, and all of a sudden now he has to sort of be the bitch boy to Mr. Savage and let him do everything. It's definitely going to be hard for someone like that, but I think they've done he's done a pretty good job, I think, of being that support player and, you know, dropping the ego and no longer being the star anymore. Although some people might be like, yo, Mongo is the star, man. Come on, like he's not in the release now, bro. Like, come on, lock in.
Every podcast we gotta mention Mongo in one way or another.
It's for the thumbnail. I got you.
Yeah, 100%. Somebody said one thing that my duo does that I hate: talking too much. Like they just didn't stop talking. I mean,
I get that.
Yeah, no, fair.
We'll get it.
Fair.
I think on this, there's an equal but worse option, which is the opposite of that, of just saying nothing. Right? I'm gonna point at Coach Harry here, right here.
No,
okay?
oh my,
yeah, bro. So I'm gonna tell a little story here. When we used to play ranked a bunch, or in like chapter 3, I remember we were always, it would be wherever we landed. It was like Thingy Cavern, whatever it was called at the time. I remember.
Command
Cavern. It would be like I'd be looting, I'd be chilling. We just landed, and then I'd just hear like, oh, there's 2 guys on me. I was like, that's weird. 2 people sneaked into our POI. And then I look in the top right, and you know, your little map that's there, and I was like, I don't see his arrow. So then I press M on my keyboard and open up the map, and he's like halfway across the map. But he didn't tell me you were leaving. And I was like, where's this boy gone to get 1v2'd? And he's out of here, just miles away.
I was moving differently in chapter 3. That was what I was moving up. I was thinking about Levin and Mini this season. About any off-spawn, and Levin knows what I'm on about. Basically, anytime in the duo cash cup, if they had one bad game, the next game off spawn, it was like they were both on mute. They could have 5 teams contesting them. They would just be silent, no comms. They'd be pushing someone, and then it would be like, there was one where Mini pushed a guy, and he was like, wait, cracked, 1 HP? And it's like, there was no comm about him pushing him or anything. Levin's just looting a chest, farming some wood. I'm just like, it's the worst thing ever.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, you know, sometimes it's just like the vibes are off, you know? The vibes are off. I think when I think of like serial yappers, one of my favorite moments of last year's Globals was when Poyo and Sphinx won a game. And like, Poyo was just like, yeah, like, you know, Frankie's trying to interview him, like, how do you feel about this amazing win? Like, you just won on land. This is crazy. And like, Poyo's just like, yeah, Sphinx was kind of talking too much, man. You know, like, forget the win. Like he's like, he turns to me, bro, you were like talking like a lot, bro. Like, you gotta chill.
No.
Like, you gotta chill. I just found that hilarious. And it was also reflected in like Sphinx's like actual interview with Frankie, where like he's just like
kept going
in a way, like, oh my god, that was such a good win. You know, we want to hire you. You know, when we went to Logan, it was so good. We were fragging out that we claimed all the boxes. And like Poyo's just like, yeah, he was talking a lot. That to me was hilarious. Yeah, I from that moment onwards, we already knew that they wanted to split up in that from the stuff that happened like early in the year. But I was like, these 2 can't work. Like, you can't have a serial yapper and a complete silent guy. Like, there has to be a closer middle ground. I feel like otherwise, someone just gets annoyed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, most of the time it's annoying. It actually goes to one of my things I have about duos. That do you guys think that a duo should be friends together? Because like, if you're yapping a lot, like, you're talking about the game, but sometimes there's moments you're like, you know, man, how's life going? How's the relationship going? How's mama? You know, like something like that. I don't know. Do you think you need to have some sort of friendship with your duo to succeed?
All right. Like, come on, bro. We literally have a segment about that next.
Oh, do we?
Yeah,
I didn't know.
That is the next segment. You should
crazy
read,
how well in tune I am.
Yeah, you should read the topic list for every episode. Give us another one. What's another comment we have?
Another comment. Okay, I thought this one was really funny because, you know, we got some ex-pros and pros responding, and I thought Stretches was great. And his was, I dropped Avery because he landed on me at a drop in scrims. Now, I don't know how that works because they're playing together, and how is he? I guess it would have been solo scrims or like during the All-Stars.
Maybe they like were just filling a session or something without each other.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. That's really petty, though.
But it's off small practice.
Though.
It's off small practice.
True.
You know, you got. It's any practice is good practice. You know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, also. Oh, good.
I was gonna say that gives me vibes of like the Tayson Thomas thing from chapter 3. You know, it's like the offspawn battle between them, and it's like the
Deagle incident.
the Deagle incident, the infamous Deagle incident. That gives me vibes of that. It's like your teammate lands on you, but I feel like the problem starts before that. I feel like you low-key had to have hated your duo before.
Oh yeah,
you know, like
you're looking for a reason to drop them.
like you're looking for the reason to drop them, and that's what happens.
There's a lot of players like that though. Where like you know, like I mean, Stretch had another one where he said Zay RPG'd himself in the middle of an FNCS finals because they wouldn't give him the gold spaz. You know, at that point, like you know, they're looking for a reason to hate each other.
No, but that's fair enough. You missed the bit at the end. He harpooned the gold spats. It's his shotgun at the end of the day. He is the owner of that shotgun.
Yeah,
so
but what happened to the days of respect where like you know your teammate's the better player and you drop him the loot, you know? Like if I play with a young 13-year-old or something, I'm dropping him the spaz in FNCS, for example.
That's a lack of confidence in yourself.
I know I'm shit. That's it. That's not confidence. It's being aware of my skill level.
Yeah, you just need the delusion that you think you're better than everyone, so then you just carry the best weapons. It doesn't matter if you are or aren't. You know, the analytical thing. Yes, you put the fragger with the best guns. You know, the ones who are gonna make the impact plays. But I'm not dropping a gold pump to anyone. There's no way.
It worked well for you in FNCS, didn't it? Huh?
Yeah, it worked perfectly well. Yeah, it worked really well for me. But yeah, I mean, that's Zay in a nutshell, though. I think if you had to ask me what person that was who did that, I think Zay would be like one of the first few you'd think of when it came to that.
Yeah, 100%. Another one. What's something your duo does that you hate? This one I find really funny. After every game, saying we need to work on your death, even though 90% of the time I was just listening to what you told me to do.
I was gonna say, that's a question. It's like, do you think it's good to be over analytical, like when you've died in a game? So like it opens, right? You die in a game, and like you've died in a game, you've come like 10th or something. Is it better to just go fuck it, go next, whatever, or to go over analytical? Oh, we should have done this, we should have done that, we should have gone here.
The thing is, there's people that do it with like good intent and then ill intent, and then there's always that one guy who's like, you know what, bro, you shouldn't have edited there. You know, oh, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. And then it's only focused on their bads and not their own bads. And it goes back to having an ego. I think there's a lot of people that literally can't do wrong, but always would talk about their teammates' issues. And you know, to some extent, you do it during the tournament, but you can't hyper analyze everything someone does because you just end up playing, you know, way differently. It hurts vibes.
I think it depends on the way that information is delivered, because I mean, with me and DJ, one of the most valuable things we've done is do that. Like, why did I die at the end of this game? And you just very quickly just go, oh, maybe this path we took on this rotate, like you jumped too far ahead, I was left by myself or something, or I missed, you know, like we walked over, you tarped us over this build hole, for example, and then I got edited down or something like that, right? And it was just like small things like that you can implement on the spot. And it's not like blaming. It's not like, oh, you did this wrong. It's literally just like, in our next game, let's make sure we don't run straight down the center of a moving zone or you know, something like that. Maybe I'll hit some shots next game. That's hard to VOD review as things goes on. But I think it's valuable, but as long as you're actually constructive.
Is that you guys are two adults who
That's true.
have communication and social skills.
True.
Which not everyone has the benefit of.
On that point is like about the way it's portrayed is like, I think the worst one is the passive aggressive one. You know, the player after the game, you've just died, and like your teammate's been dropped down, and it's like, oh, we shouldn't have got dropped down there. You know, like that's what we're going to get dropped down there. We shouldn't have got dropped down there. Like, oh, we should have, like, your teammates made a rotate. It's like, that was so obvious we're getting lobby spray. Like, so, like, the next game we'll just go somewhere else. Like,
it's the same time guy who's like, oh, if we just didn't get knocked there, you know? He's the one that got knocked first. You're like, yeah, if we didn't get knocked, man, we would have just won that game. It's fine.
Oh, I hit him 180. How come he didn't die?
We're just so unlucky.
What is me?
Hey, do you know it's like the same sort of vibes as that, right? You know when you back out to the lobby and your teammate's already in replay?
yeah, he's just like
you died first and then in replay already. You're like, oh my.
You don't even say anything. You just know they're looking at how you died. Yeah.
No, bro. And then the question that follows as well is, how did you die? It's like, you're about to watch that shit, bro.
It's like
you know.
You know the answer to that question, bro. Don't make me embarrass myself.
Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You can't even like lie because they're about to see it, you know? It's like, you can't even... I hate that shit so much.
No, but the guy in replay, if he didn't see anything you did wrong, he's like, it's fine, don't worry. He'll say nothing. He'll just say nothing. If he saw no mistake you made, he'd be like, let's just ready up. Let's just go next.
What were you doing in replay? Nah, nothing.
No, nothing.
No.
Or the other guy starts
who's
talking
calling
about
us
you,
off spawn?
you know?
Yeah, who's calling off spawn?
Oh, God.
I think one that I saw that was really good was a lot of people said was opening TikTok mid game. I don't know how often that happens, but I think in solos that's valuable. Like, you know, W king the solos, but like in duos, you hear like booty shaking a bit. I don't even know the TikTok song, but like, you know.
What TikTok you watching?
The one where they shake the booty, Harry. You know the one, what's the song called?
I don't know where you're on up, bro. That's about you. That's all you.
I saw your For You page.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can open your TikTok. Like, yeah.
I don't know, because I think for kids nowadays, it's like, you know, it's most people have just monkey brains. It's monkey see, monkey do. They see a player running around the open, they're like, we're going to key this guy. If you have TikTok open, you're not going to see anyone. You know, you're just going to be chilling there. You're going to be fine, you know. For opens, I think it's valid. I think it's 100% valid for like the 13, 14 year.
Duo has TikTok open mid-game, he's getting dropped. Like, unequivocally, he's getting dropped. In solos, do what you want to keep your focus.
You guys clearly have not played Middle East FNCS if you've never opened TikTok mid-game. Like, that's all I'm saying.
And I hope I never will, Reese. Right? And I hope I never will. What's something your duo does that you hate? Doesn't update his game in time for tournaments, so we start half an hour late.
My first week of FNCS, Aiden, we started an hour and a half late because he didn't have his game updated.
that is crazy.
Yeah, because what that shows is obviously because updates are on Tuesday and obviously FNCS on Friday. It also just shows he hasn't touched the game. It's like it's even worse because it's not just like you know, the update was on the Tuesday and it's eval cup on the Tuesday and it's like, okay, you know what, it's fine, you just got home. It's the Friday. It's been 3 days. You haven't touched the game and it's FNCS.
You've not even warmed up.
You haven't even warmed up. In your head, it's just over. It's already over. Like there is no coming back.
That's literally every single Fortnite. I swear, like, on update day, when you host scrims, for example, the first key is always, like, 20 minutes. Because these motherfuckers are like, oh, just wait, bro. I just have 20 more gigs. I live in Finland. I have 100 KB up, man. Please, just wait. Just wait, please. Don't ban me. Like, I don't know how people aren't updating the games until, like, 8 p.m. or something. Although it happens, I mean, to even, like, Thomas HD, like, he doesn't even wake up before, like, 6 p.m. So I guess he wouldn't even have time to update.
Yeah, that to me is just a red flag, like straight. Just like the whole not playing the game, like that is just like a big red flag. Especially if you're someone who, like, you know, you don't have good internet, bro. Like, we knew we were playing FNCS this week. Why didn't you prepare beforehand, bro? Like,
just leave your computer on.
Do you know what I mean?
Literally, the auto update, you know?
Yeah, I was going to say, most people have auto update on. So, literally, he's either not been on the computer or has put himself so it doesn't update. That's how little he wants to play the game. He's just like, he specifically said, I do not want this to update.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I got one more, and then I'm done, unless you have some.
I'll do one more at the end afterwards. Okay. I got you.
So one person said, what's one thing your duo does that you hate? My duo doesn't want to switch spots after dying 6 games off spawn, and we had 1.5 hours left, 3 games high elo, and he just refused to leave the spot we died 6 times at.
How are you in high elo then?
In this case, I think I'm with the duo, but I'm going full passion. We are landing our spot. I ain't pussing up.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose at this point because I don't think there's any winning at this outcome. You stay the drop spot and you die a bunch off spawn, and then you go, well, we should have changed, obviously. Or you change drop spot and you go in replay and you see it's uncon, and then you're like, well, we obviously should have stayed. Like, what are we doing? Like, there's no winning from that spot. You just firm it at that point. You just have to.
I think also you have to just accept that you're not good at a certain point. Like, the reality is, if I'm playing a 10-game tournament and I've died 6 games off spawn, very likely, okay? Yeah. And I have not planned like a backup drop spot. Like, I don't really think you really should have a lot of backup drop spots if something doesn't work out. Just firm your A plan so that your A plan is good. Get your whatever that is better. Don't just be dying off spawns this game. Just get better, right? What, you're going to go drop somewhere else and also do crap. Like, if you're in this style of lobby where you're just losing 6 games out of 6, it's like, well, that's on you already. Going somewhere else means you'll just be shit somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's bold of you to assume they have a plan in the first place, like most players.
Wow, of course.
Let's go red line and rake first game and drop a 40 bomb. You know, that's it.
Yeah, I feel that. It's just, I mean, as someone who has died a lot off spawn in the past few FNCS weeks, it is, going in with no plan, and then you have, it's the classic, you die 3 times off spawn, and then you're like, we're in low elo. Surely we go red line rig now. Like, surely we're just keying. Like,
they're so bad, bro. They're so shit.
They are awful. Like, and then you die off spawn once a red line rig, you're like, these guys are shit. We 100% got it next game. And it's just the cycle continue.
These 15 teams landing here, they're all shit. Don't worry, don't worry.
I've lived this reality so much that it feels like you guys are actually reliving my actual comms from tournaments before. Jeez, yeah, you got bigger problems. If you're losing 6 out of 6 off spawn, like your drop. Yeah, man, you got to sort.
You're the problem.
You are the problem.
To repeat what I said like 2 weeks ago, you're the problem. Yeah.
100%.
Start landing outside Underworld. Go at that little shit spot, but like to the left of Underworld. You can't die there.
Yeah.
Say that.
The last one I had was, what's something your duo does that you hate? And it is calming dead without actually killing someone and then dies himself 2 seconds later. Now this is from our great friend Destiny's Jesus. Talking shade about his duo.
I would like to say that this only happened once. This DJ says I do this all the time, where I say I calm dead and then I die. However, I would like to say if I've ever done that, I have actually knocked someone and then I immediately die afterwards. The one event that he was talking about, I had a combat shotgun, a grey combat shotgun, and I hit him 5 times after he was hit for 50 and he didn't die. So I calmed dead on the 3rd combat shot, and then I hit him twice more and he still didn't die. I was like, this has got to be like, you genuinely can't aim that bad if you try. Like, it was 28, 28, 28, 28, 28, and I actually lost my mind. I was like, dead? And I was like, wait, what? He's you know, one of those kind of moments.
The saddest recollection of like gameplay possible, bro.
Yeah,
I used 50 HP, man. I couldn't kill him.
So what was really funny is I was, the day before, working on a YouTube short, which was like why Fortnite pros are using the combat shotgun. And I had titled it "The Best Shotgun This Season." And after that moment, I had sent it off to one of my editors to talk about, and I was like, I'm just going to change that voiceover real quick. Just don't edit that yet. I was like, that's not me.
It was the best for one when the fists were in the game and you could kill people like as in fisting in the air. That was the best. Look, you were just talking to third person when you were saying dead. You're just talking about yourself.
Exactly.
You're just giving such good comms.
Someone in this lobby's dead.
Someone died. Like 100%. Someone died.
Someone died there.
Yeah,
wasn't wrong.
100%. Wait, we didn't actually read this one, and it was. I thought you were gonna read this one as your last one.
Was the Peter Bot one?
It was the Blood X one.
We got that was funny.
What is something your duo partner does that you hate? Our good friend Blood X said, in Trio FNCS, I was so tired of saying the same shit over and over again, so I ended up leaving the Discord call for game 1 and 2 of round 2 FNCS, and we won both games back to back.
I don't think he realizes what that means.
That just means everything he's saying is just shit.
Pure fucking yap coming out of Blood X, you know?
They stopped listening to me, and we won 2 games.
That's how good I am. That's how good I am.
That's all me, baby. That's all
me.
This is actually like an all-time Blood X moment. Like, he talks about this at any opportunity. And I remember like this happening, and I remember people were freaking out about it. And it's something he's done before. Like, I remember like when I talked to people that played with Blood X back in the day, they'd always be like, yeah, when he gets angry, he just leaves the call, and like we just have to keep playing, and even though he have to call. Blood X's rebuttal is always that, yeah, well, you know, it's good. We all know exactly what we need to do, so we don't even need to comp, you know? But it's just like...
No, he's just standing on business. He's like, if you're not, like, he's literally just standing on business. He's like, if I'm not taking this shit, you can just play by yourself. It's fine. But like, I need to see this. I need to see this in a video. Like, I need to see, like, if someone streamed it, like, their reaction to Blood X leaving, and then their reaction after the 2 wins. Like, if they're going, like, we're the best, or they're just like, Bloodix, your shit. We don't need you in the call anymore.
That's true. Like, what were the vibes when you joined back after the wins? That's very important information. 100%.
They're like, yo, just mute up, bro. Just mute up.
We should say, he's like, he joins the call, they don't win the third game, and now everyone's just like, oh, bro, like, come on, bro, you gotta get out. Jeez, I mean, shout out to all the duo partners and all the people who hate their duo partners. It's a very
90% of duos.
Everyone's gotta hate their duo a little bit, you know?
Yeah, you do. Well, welcome back to the FNtasia podcast. Hope you guys all had a wonderful week. We are here with episode 13 now, I think. Episode 13, 1-3. Who knows? Maybe, probably, possibly.
We're getting there. We are getting there.
Where are we getting to? What's the...
Nearly, we're a quarter way to a year. We're quarter way to a year. So that's a good to a year of podcast.
Episode year?
That is correct maths, actually. Yeah.
No, that is spot on maths, actually. Interesting.
There you go.
Bro knows his 13 times table.
Yeah, there you go. Of course, that's what I've been doing the past week instead of streaming. I just been working on my times table.
Yo, hey, what's 13 times 13 real quick?
I don't know. Pass on.
Come on. It's 169, man.
See, I was gonna say that, but then I didn't want to be called out, so
it's fine.
Okay.
You dodged a bullet.
I dodged it.
How are we all doing this week, gentlemen? Everyone good? Everyone had a good week?
Good. Yeah, just been not streaming is what I've done. What I've been doing. A lot of not streaming. No, I've just been recovering from the common cold, as I always fight every single week, it feels like. But no, it's been good. Luckily, like this break, I think this break's in a good time. I think obviously 3 weeks, obviously not what we want, you know, when it comes to a break. But I think it's nice always to have like a little break just to sort of like refresh going into like heats and grands.
I have also not been streaming.
There's
literally nothing to do. But we have a window now.
You did mention the new light at the start. The audio listeners had no clue what you were talking about.
If you guys didn't see, there's light.
Let there be light.
There is light.
There's light, yeah. There's natural light in the room.
Yeah.
You know, my skin's glowing. It's great.
Damn. The profit, bro. The profit's out here.
Yeah, we're making money now, you know? Thank God.
Whoa, yeah. Well, I, as you know, Harry says the break's good. I think the break's awful. It's so boring, and I have nothing to do. There's nothing interesting to talk about competitively, so I'm making videos, and I was like, what topics? I'm just like planning my July. I was like, what topics are we going to talk about this month? I have a good empty list right now.
I want your Middle East FNCS video. That's what I want.
Yeah. You're the only one.
You are the only one there. Yeah.
I need a compilation of your shot, your the shots you actually hit. A nice little short to go over with the shots you hit.
Short.
Yeah. I think. I don't think it would even fit into that short 59 seconds. To be honest with you, I think I can make it long enough to get it to loop. No, I don't know. This week's been boring as hell. That's it. Like I was looking at doing like what kind of extra video could I do today? I wanted to maybe jump in, do something a little analytical or whatnot. And I opened up like FNCS replays and I was like, just looking at these leaderboards. I ain't looking through these games, man. Yeah. It's not the most exciting week right now. But my thought on this though is it's all uphill from here because we can get semis, then we get grands, and then we get the discussion of going into globals, the new season. So like this couple of weeks is boring for all of us, but at least it's going to get interesting after this.
It gets better. It does get better. I've been away myself as well. Not been paying attention to Fortnite at all. Like I have no clue what's happened in this last week.
Slacking on the job.
There's not been a job. There's nothing.
There's been one Duo Cash Cup finals.
My bad, bro. You got me. You got me.
Wait to do your research for a Fortnite podcast, Levin. Come on, man.
Gosh. I mean, sue me. But for the people listening, thank you again for all the support. We have had some changes to the podcast of late. For the people who watch on YouTube, as you can see, I've seen a couple people mention it, that the quality of the shows look much better. And, you know, like 2 people mention it, which is great. We'll take those. Shout out to Play Quartz, our producer, who's in the background. At one point, we need to like set it up so that Quartz can like speak, and every once in a while, like he'll just say something, and people are like, wait, what was that? Who was that in the background? But yeah, shout out to him. Be sure to keep showing some support, you know, for the people watching right now on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast. Like, you're literally, the majority of people who watch just don't subscribe. I think it's like 60% of you watch every week and you just don't subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Don't miss anything. If you're watching on, or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, leave a review. Let us know how you feel about the podcast. We appreciate all of your support. It's been incredible. So let's keep it going. Let's talk about some Fortnite related things. I got a Reddit thread I wanted to read out here because the comp Reddit, shout out to whoever's on the Reddit nowadays. It's not many nowadays, but I did see a thread that was not the type of thing I usually see on there, and I thought it was interesting. So we'll read it out to you. And what the person said is, when Fortnite duos split, is it like a breakup? Serious question. I wonder if Epic World cried when Clix dropped him, or if when Booga and Aviv got back together, one of them had to apologize to win the other one back. The best duos have great chemistry, and that's no surprise. So when they drift apart, it's got to really be hard. It's got to be, like the good times of when you're dating, in quotations, duoing. When someone tweets looking for duo, it seems like someone is single and ready to mingle, if you know what I mean. I also wonder if any Fortnite duos have ever kissed IRL and then dropped each other because it got too real. I feel like Miro and Cooper may have kissed just based off of their vibe.
You got a hold of the DJ and Reese DMs.
I mean, my firstly, stop leaking. Secondly, I immediately as soon as you started reading this, I was like, he might be onto something here. I went downhill rapidly, but my initial response to this, before we go into serious response, I want to say Philip Price 201. I don't think you've ever been in a relationship. What are you cooking, man? What are you cooking? Oh my
Bro
goodness.
on Tinder puts looking for duo and then tries to find someone.
Statistically, that's probably worked for at least one person in the world.
100%
Definitely.
Especially the Valorant people. Because the Valorant people
God,
going crazy. Yeah, they be going crazy in Valorant.
The new dating website.
Yeah, that is the new dating.
There's got to be one FNtasia winning duo that has kissed before. The odds are just there.
Are you about?
What's funny is
I'm
when I
not
saw
exposed.
this, okay, maybe I should have sent this to court so we can get the video up. When I saw this thread,
What video?
What
video?
Tayson X.
The real Ruse and Tayson moved to NA.
Yeah.
Wait. Who tweeted it? There was a video of Trippin and someone. Maybe it wasn't
Bloomy.
Trippin.
Clutch tweet.
Somebody. Trippin and Bloomy. There's a video of them and they look like they're about to kiss.
Yes.
And I don't remember what event it was from, but it looked like they were about to kiss.
That was
and
Saudi
I remember
this
I
year.
saw that. Don't want to be
No, Saudi. Sorry.
The qualifiers,
yeah, qualifiers.
Yeah, and after I saw that, after I watched that video, I go on Reddit, and this was what I saw, and I was like, "This is perfect, like perfectly timed." Someone's definitely kissed. Yeah, there's definitely been a smooch there, here or there. On the serious nature of this thread, he's cooking. He's cooking.
He is cooking. I think the biggest thing is the honeymoon phase, and that is the biggest thing in Fortnite duos. When do you see the duos that just get together just before FNCS and they just cook because there's no bad beef, there's no any drama that's happened. They're playing off vibes, they're having fun. They're just going through the motions. The honeymoon phase, I think, is the real. It's what every duo, and this is where it gets a little bit where he's cooking a bit. Is that's what the duos are searching for. That's what they're chasing. They have that duo where the honeymoon phase was so good, then they have a couple bad cash cuts, and they're like, I want that honeymoon phase back again. I want to get back there again. And they go there again and again and again. And he was cooking until I heard that Cooper Mirror kissed. And that's where.
So the last bit of his post went off the rails, but if we ignore that, the first bit when he's just comparing the parallels of being in a relationship and having a Fortnite duo, naturally there are going to be similarities because it is just a relationship with someone. I remember there was an interview Yomzo did on the NA broadcast last season, and I remember a lot of NA kids were clipping up and posting on Twitter because everyone was like he's talking about Rise, he's talking about his girlfriend or something. He was Yomzo was just there, and Yomzo on them interviews is very straight faced. He was just yeah, you gotta, when you're in a duo with someone for long, you gotta learn, about their personality, what they like, what they don't like, when they wake up on days in a bad mood. And everyone's like, oh no, why are you talking about Rise like this? But I've seen it, bro. like I don't think duos when they split are like crying, like he maybe suggested. But you know, I remember talking to Kanada once, and he talked about when he got dropped by, I think it was Aviv. He was like abroad, or no, it was Ages, I think maybe. When he got dropped by Ages or someone, he was like abroad on holiday, and it's like he just reads the text like, yeah, like I'm putting someone. Like that must be like a heartbreak, bro. Like I mean, I get it. Like I totally get it. Even again, if using the Yomzo and Rise example, right? They were a duo that's like been together for long. Everyone knows, you know, they were, you know, and people look at duos like that. They look at Cammy and Seti and a lot of these guys who've been together for long, and they're like, yeah, this is like the blueprint, man. You want to stick with your duo for long, you build the chemistry, blah, blah, blah. A lot of those guys are the ones that have the most baggage and problems because you've been dealing with the same fucker for a year and a half, 2 years, you know? It's like if I told you the amount of times like Cammy and Seti have probably been on the verge of splitting or just like hated each other for short periods of time, like it's only natural when you just are with someone that much for years. Like it's...
I think there comes a point where you genuinely do, and I mean this very lightly, love your duo. You know, you love like playing tournaments with them. You like the vibe, not love as in, you know, you wanna, you know. Okay, there's different levels of love. There's, you know, like Trippin loves Thomas HD, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like he wished they could get back together, but then, you know, there's always you just enjoy each other's company, enjoy playing tournaments together. Everything just fits the vibe. And for those duos, sometimes it's also painful when you have to split because, like, man, I would have fucking. I think the same for Yomzo and Rise. Like, I would have fucking loved to win an FNtasia with Rise, for example,
Right.
if I was a Yomzo, you know.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it just doesn't come to fruition, you know. And I think it does make you as a player a little bit sad that the guy that you've been grinding with, you know, maybe on the come up with, or like maybe you were like a tier 2 player and all of a sudden now you're tier 1s, like that you couldn't make it, you couldn't finish together.
Whoa.
You couldn't reach your goal together. Reach your goal together. Reach the finish.
Whoa. That's
Yeah.
July, mate.
I think like there just becomes a certain aspect of like if you spend so long with one person, whether it's like a friend group or whether you're actually just doing, which obviously if you're going to be in a duo, you're going to hang out with them at least. Like how many hours are we talking? If there's a duo cash cup, if you're a good player, you make finals as well. FNCS, all these rounds. If you're playing solo cash cup, you'll probably be in a call with them as well. You're at least talking to them for like 15, 20 hours a week. Like that's more time than most relationships will speak to each other directly, like 1-to-1 and hang out. Like in the like. Completely honestly,
Reese is projecting his own relationship on this right now.
You want to talk about it, Reese?
Hey, all I'm gonna say is, if I give up YouTube one day, man, I'm gonna spend a lot more time with my girl.
That's always the joke with like athletes that never retire. They're like, he just doesn't want to retire. He's playing football till he's 45 because he just doesn't want to spend time with his wife. Like,
I can just imagine Reese's girlfriend sitting there in like the hallway looking over. It's like, honey, there's dinner. So I'm playing Middle East Cash Cup right now. Chill, you know. I'm cooking. Like,
there's a reason I don't play NA, man. I ain't staying up that late as well.
Region lock is the worst thing to happen to Reese.
Well, one of the things I thought about. No, I play the earlier tournaments, so it's still fine.
Okay.
When she's at work, so that's now we're all good. But one of the things I thought about in this was like, you know, how does the if it is more like a relationship, which it isn't in it to some extent before this guy started talking about kissing, you know, now that region lock's been removed, if it's like, oh, but you played an NA cash cup with someone, you know, they get jealous. They're like, are you cheating on me now? You know, you're like,
why didn't you ask
It starts
me?
at one cash cup and then it's an FNCS, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
I was going to say this comes back to the point that Boop you made in the last segment, which was, do duos actually have to be friends? Right? Like, because this is the classic. You play with your duo on like an EU cash cup and then you're like, I'm going to go play with my friends. It's like, am I not a friend? And then you don't see me as a friend? It's like, I think... Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that it kind of is like, Jin, because that's where you get into your head. You're like, wait, I did so well on that NA cash cup with this other guy. Is my duo actually that good? You know, it's actually kind of annoying. And when he says this thing, it actually really winds me up.
Yeah, no, we used to see that before region lock. Like, you could always tell like who the future duos were gonna be a lot of the time, right? Because like you'd see people trying things out. Sometimes you just get like people who genuinely just play with their friends who they know probably like aren't good enough to be their actual duo for like a FNCS. But like you can always, it's always fun looking at those dynamics because you get some people who play all the other region stuff with like their actual duo, and so it's like, okay, maybe these guys are actually friends, or maybe they're just locked in and really want to like grind and try that season. But then it's like when they don't do that, like low key, I think one dynamic I always found interesting around that was always like duos who just aren't even in the same like friend group, right? So it's like the tournament ends and like instantly they've left court to go talk with their friend group, and the other person's gone with their friend group. Where it's like oh, I don't know. I feel like the dynamics.
I think that's better. I think that's better.
I'm in between with that.
There's a balance. There's like I feel like there's a balance to be had, but what you get where you can get a negative balance is when, for example, last season, right? Kira and Kiduo, right? They split, and a part of why they split was allegedly, at least, you know, a lot of like Kiduo's German friends being like, bro, Kira doesn't grind the game. You're better than him. He's shit. Get someone better, right? And so it's like, because Kiro's not in that friend group and is around, like he's being influenced. Like Kiro has now been influenced, and that's just an example that came to my mind. But there's like a lot of instances I know of where that's happened, where people like their friend groups now affect it because you're not friends. So because you're not friends, it's like you must have a colleague, and so when your friends are telling you your colleague's a bit crap, and there's someone, it can get messy. Is where I'm at. Like the dynamics of a Fortnite Pro and team is very interesting.
Yeah, on the friend group. Oh, you go first.
I was gonna say this is like exactly like a real life example. That's what we're saying here, where it's like you could just have a bunch of trash ass friends. And they're like, bro, dump your girl, come party with us. Yeah, you'll find someone better out here. You know, it's that same shit, bro. Like,
she's such a bitch, man. Like, why are you even with her still?
One of my friends calls my girl a bitch. We're fighting.
Exactly.
Fighting.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, it's like when you'll see people like choose their duo, and I've heard it many times, but someone will choose their duo, and then they'll go in their friend group, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm duoing this guy," and they're like, as long as you're happy, you know, as long as you're happy, you know, that's all that matters. It's like exactly like real life.
As long as you're happy about your duo partner is crazy.
It's the most passive aggressive shit ever. Like, if I was in your shoes, I wouldn't. But like, if you're happy about it, you know, it's fine.
I think you'll have fun.
Is that your only option? Did you make a tweet? Like, did you make a tweet? Are you sure that's your option? Like, did you play with other people? Oh, okay. No,
maybe do a looking for duo tweet real quick just in case. You know?
Just in case.
See what your options are. See what's out there.
Yeah, why not? The thing is with friendships, I think it's half and half, right? Because having your duo be your friend is a good thing because they might not take criticism as badly as someone that you don't know. Maybe it's the opposite. I'm not sure. And also, you're basically hanging out with them for multiple hours a day. You need to have some good vibes. Otherwise, things get boring, and you know things can get heated. On the other side, having someone like join your call like 5 minutes before the tournament start might also be like, okay, now's my switch to turn it on into competitive mode, right? If you're used to hanging out with that person for like 6 hours a day, then you don't know when to switch it off sometimes. And some duos have that issue where, like, you know, they're in the friend group together, they're shooting the shit. And then when tournaments start, they're still trolling and still, you know, haha, your mom, I don't know, like, you know, what do people talk about?
Is this your banter with your friends?
Haha, your mom. We talk about each other's mothers all the time. Yeah. It's actually quite toxic when you talk about it. So
yeah, I think the bigger thing about the friend thing is the baggage that comes along with the duo. You know, we were talking about, you know, reason, like, as in reasons, like, as in you said, we talked about reasons why you drop your duo, right? You know, beefing in between games, it was your fault. Then you go into a friend group and go into the same call after the tournament, and someone asks you, "Yo, what happened in the Cash Cup?" And you're both just sat in the call together. It's like, and then you just start
drag me one day and one
drag me down. I'll tell you what really happened. It's like it doesn't really stop. It's not like, you know, you have a bad tournament with your duo. Okay, then you go sit with your friends and chill. You can talk about it. You leave it a day, and then you can go figure out with your duo, whatever. If you're friends with them, it's like you have a bad tournament. You go into cool with them, and it's kind of like the vibes have continued over, and it can kind of just pile on the bad tournaments over and over again.
Yeah, or pile on the good tournaments as well.
Exactly.
It can have different effects. I think Boot made a good point of just like, even like, like being able to separate. It's like when like scientists are like, you shouldn't have your office desk in your bedroom because you should associate your room with sleep and your body gets messed up and stuff. It's like being able to, like, again, I think it's all like always very variable of like, it depends on the person, right? Some people, it might be better to just have that, like, this is a job. I need someone who's like switching on, you know, I can switch on, not always my friend, not always there. It's definitely a weird dynamic, but yeah, it's cool. I thought this was really cool. Not the kissing part. Even though I do think maybe there's a chance some people have cried when they've been dropped. You know, I wouldn't rule that out. I've seen people cry after bad FNCS results. So why wouldn't they cry when they get dropped? Who knows?
Yeah.
Comment below if you've kissed your duo.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you're over 18, please.
If you're over 18. Yeah. We're talking about there's a lot of under 18 Fortnite players. It's kind of a weird topic. All I'm gonna say is if you gotta kiss your duo to win FNCS, kiss your duo. That's it. You know?
If they are of age.
If you are both above the age of 18 and both consenting adults, and you both sign a waiver, and it's completely safe.
Yeah. So to answer the question, are duos like relationships?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
I'll send you my lucky for duo boop afterwards. So worry.
You wanna
I
do
like
it?
on the Reddit thread was
Yeah, let's go.
you know, it basically had like the top paragraph, which was common sense, and then they were like, I'm gonna start a new paragraph to just be batshit crazy.
Yeah. No, I respect Philip for that. Philip cooked
Shout
that
out,
one.
Philip.
Yeah,
It wouldn't have got to the top of Reddit if it did have the bottom part. Like it would just be like a one vote. Like he's made too logical of a reason. We got added Cooper Miracist. There you go.
I love how in the comments of it on Reddit, like one of the Reddit mods was just like, you know what, fuck it, I'm approving this. Like we're gonna let this stay here. You're allowed. I got a game for us, guys. I got a game for us this week. We I like when we play games on here, and so we got a new one. We're gonna play This or That. I'm going to give you guys a list of players, POIs, whatever. There's different categories. And you'll basically have to pick this one or that one, whichever the option is. We got 3 different categories. We have current players, all-time players, and POIs.
Okay.
We're going to give Reese, you're going to go first. I'll give you the first pick. Which category do you want to go for?
Let's say I'm going to go all-time players.
All-time players, okay. So, we'll start off with Benji Fishy versus Mitro.
Oh, I think that's easy. If you're picking Mitro here, you're lost.
Okay, so Benji.
My opinion. Like, Benji, like, Mitro was so good in the early days, right?
Yeah.
You know, we can talk all about the Stark season FNCS all we want, but that's a bit Mickey. But all of the early performances he had, me personally, this is my this or that, I don't value things that happen so early on in Fortnite very highly. I don't value players who really popped off super early into the game and were at their peak when everyone else was kind of not that great. And obviously you could put Bench in that category too, but he had a lot more longevity in my eyes than that. Also, he then gave up, and now he's also on to being like in one of the best Valorant teams as well. So obviously that's absolutely nothing to do with that, but it just shows, I think, a little bit more talent.
Just a bit of UK bias from you.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean, I could straight up say that Mitro's better results because he won an FNCS. He's done obviously a lot in the earlier days, but I just think Benji had better, maybe not FNCS grand final results, but everything else.
Okay. Just to preface, you don't have to give an explanation for everyone. No. You can just we can fast.
I thought I was just going through one here.
No. There's a lot. There's a lot.
Basically, stop yapping, bro.
Just basically stop yapping, bro. Okay. Okay. So who do you pick, Benji? Okay, Benji or Aqua?
Aqua. It's got to be
Aqua or Mongrel?
Aqua.
Aqua or Booga?
I don't rate NA players, obviously, but I'm gonna have to go Booga, yeah.
Booga or Janice?
I'd need to see him side by side. Off the dome, I would say Booga, but Janice has some great placements, you know.
After that last pod where we talked about Booga, they were not happy with some of our Booga takes.
How dare you not put him in the all-time list? The GOAT debate.
We have a lot of NA listeners. Shout out to the NA listeners, man, because a lot of them were not happy. They said we were straight up haters. But yeah, Booga or Zayt? I'll give you 2 NAs.
Booga.
Booga or Queasy?
Queasy
or Cammy? Cammy or Veno?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
That is tough.
We got the 2 FNCS wins from Vino.
Yeah.
Second, but I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go Cammy on that. I think.
Interesting.
Land,
Total.
baby.
I mean, yeah. I think the longevity of Cammy will put it over for me.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last one, Cammy or Tayson.
It's Tayson, it's Tayson. So
I like the last one was actually Tayson or Mongrel.
I was obviously Mongrel. Yeah, it's obviously
Tayson or Mongrel.
No, it's Tayson. Of course,
Okay,
it's Tayson,
okay.
man.
Just making sure. Just making sure.
But Tayson or Mongo Stark season.
Ooh.
Depends. Are you talking about who's funny or who's actually contributing?
Wow.
You're saying Tayson's boring. I see.
I don't
We
think
hate
Tayson's
Tayson.
upset about not winning funny competitions. I think he'll survive.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I think most of that was fair enough. I feel like
that was fair.
I feel like people still won't be happy with the Booga.
I think Booga Janice is to be honest, I'm still thinking like it's Booga Janice better. Take World Cup out. Obviously, you shouldn't take World Cup out.
Yeah, I was gonna say when.
Take the biggest
best
tournament in
do that.
Fortnite history out. Then
Just pretend he just didn't win.
Hey.
The thing is, Janice is
that,
severely
but,
underrated, though. Like,
Yes.
I don't think
Very,
anyone
yeah.
ever like. I think he would have been mentioned in the GOAT debate, like in Chapter 4 potentially. Like 3 FNtasia wins in 3 different game modes. It's insane, But he's sort of fallen off since then, obviously. So yeah, no longevity in that.
If they had won,
Railways.
if they had won last year, Chapter 4, Season 1, he would have had 4 times. I feel like he'd be in a lot more good. Like especially in like the all-time IGL debates, because usually when people say like all-time IGL, I think most people just default to like Queasy, which I think is pretty fair. But like if Janice had the 4 times, like I feel like a lot of people would maybe have him as their all-time GOAT IGL. All right, we're gonna give. I think you were last time we did one of these, so I'll give you the next pick, Harry. Current players or POIs?
Can I ask for POIs? Is it current POIs or all-time POIs?
Is it all-time? It's all-time POIs.
Give me POIs.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, I thought you were gonna pick players.
Okay.
God damn, I'm gonna have to do POIs. God damn it.
All-time POIs. Are you ready? This or that? So,
Yeah.
the Shark or Retail Row?
Oh, which version of retail?
Which version of Retail Row?
We'll do
Zombies?
Season
Yeah.
X,
Are we
sure.
doing zombies or no zombies?
Just like let's just do vanilla like early chapter 1 Retail Row.
Oh, Shark.
Okay. The Shark or Misty Meadows?
Shark.
The Shark or Salty Springs?
A shark off. Yeah, Shark.
The Shark or Slurpy Swamp?
Ooh. See, I had I don't want to talk too much about it, but I looked back how many chests are in Slurpee. There's actually only like 18 because I was speaking to someone about it. Like there's nothing there.
Really?
So
It felt like there was so much more.
No, because I was speaking to someone who landed there and they were like, well, the shit side of it had like 5 chests. And like the main building had like 8. And it was like that you literally had nothing there. But it felt like you got so much more.
I think it probably wasn't that bad because early chapter 2 you had 100% chest spawn. So it probably just didn't feel that bad.
Yeah, Shark. I'll still go Shark though.
The Shark or Pleasant Park?
Ooh. I like Pleasant. It was a good spot. It was fine and it was good in opens. By a lot. I keep going the Shark. Get me on the Shark.
The Shark or Tilted Towers?
Oh, Tilted. Of course.
It's too iconic.
It's too iconic. You can't have anything else.
Tilted Towers or Grim Gate?
Oh, wait. From a nostalgia standpoint, it's Tilted, but if you're going competitive. But if it's Grimgate this season, Grimgate sucks this season. It's not sucks, it's not very good, like in comparison. I'll go Grimgate last season.
Grimgate or Stark Industries?
Grimgate.
Really?
Grimgate.
Interesting. Yeah, you're a weirdo, bro. What?
Yeah, weirdo.
Yeah. Grimgate in a no mobility meta with the coin. Best POI, I think.
You competitive sweats.
But Peterbot still wouldn't call globals, right?
Oh yeah, he won't call globals. Carried. That's what I'll say.
Okay, Grimgate or Command Cavern?
Oh shit! No, that's 3 PO. That's 3 landing spots in one. Then that landing spot was so fucking good.
It was
because just the sheer amount of loot in like, I think I'm gonna go because it was 3. I'll go Command Cavern.
Okay. Command Cavern or Mega City? Chapter 4.
Command Cavern.
Command Cavern or the Daily Bugle?
Oh, Command Cavern.
Command Cavern wins for POIs.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
That was that landing spot with the 3 landing spots within it, basically trading Surge every single game. How fun it was to contest, how good it was in set lobbies. Like that is my favorite. I think it's my favorite landing spot of all time.
I'll give you a bonus one. Command Cavern or Rave Cave?
Oh, Rave Cave. No, Rave Cave. Rave Cave is actually, Rave Cave with the pink head on top. That's the most fun. Yeah.
Iconic.
Wait,
Iconic.
Did Rave Cave still have the blimp there?
It did.
It
one
did,
of the
but
season.
it wasn't as good, no?
Did it crash?
No. So it had it for like 2-3 weeks in like Elite Cups. It had. There was the blimp, and then like that was in Command Cavern, and then the next season was Rave Cave, and then the season after was Rave Cave with like a worse blimp, as you said, like a way worse blimp.
I think the Rave Cave without the Command Cavern with a blimp. I think that was by far my favorite though. I can't agree with you on a Rave Cave.
That's nostalgia for me. That's where I had the most fun. I love that landing spot. But yeah, I mean, Command Cavern, Rave Cave, whichever version of it, 3 POIs within one, like 3 landing spots within one, all good, like 20-30 chest landing spots with just barrels everywhere, cap metal, like it was such a fun landing spot. I saw the reaction. It wasn't too overpowered. It was definitely strong, but it wasn't overpowered. It was probably the best in comparison of like strength to like enjoyability of a landing spot.
I swear it was overpowered. Wasn't that like I swear one of like the early Command Cavern seasons, it was like there was like guaranteed pads or something. What was like the gimmick? Remember, like there was like a.
Oh, so no. There was a Rave
Was it from the vault?
One. No,
you would get guaranteed pads from the vault.
You get guaranteed pads.
You get
from
3
the vault.
pads from the vault 100%.
Yeah.
Aqua Veno season.
Yeah.
I was thinking of when it had the guaranteed grapples. That season where I had the guaranteed grapples in the it was like in the middle on the floor. You know, it was the grapples we had for one of the DreamHack solos, you know, which were at like the weird like pink stations where there was just like 2 grapples.
Right, I remember that.
Yeah, there was a guaranteed one of them.
I need to revisit Chapter 3, man. Chapter 3 low-key had like some decent seasons, but it was just depressing because nobody cared about Fortnite back then.
I'm gonna say this because I know Resubs hates Chapter 3. And I think Chapter 3 is the best competitive season. If it had victory cups, it'd be better than Chapter 4, and it wouldn't be close.
You are looking through it with rose-tinted glasses because Chapter 3 had some of the worst metas in the early ones.
Chapter 4 had Rocket Ram, Katana, and hammers. That's what we're not comparing.
But here we go, right? The chapter. Firstly, I didn't mention Chapter 4 yet.
Yeah.
I was going to, but I didn't mention it yet. You're getting ahead of yourself here. Firstly, Katana meta was amazing. I love that meta. That was a great movement meta. I was full chapter of like infinite mobility. Sure, okay. Hammers and rocket rams. Yeah, they were some ass. But like outside of that, I felt like the Chapter 4 map and metas were all way better than the Chapter 3 ones. The mobility, they're up for debate. I absolutely hated shockwave hammers. But like the Chapter 3 Season 1 was no shotgun meta. Like, watch Hen's clutch from when he won with Queasy in that first one. He carried an AR, like an MK7, and a Stinger SMG. It's like, that is a horrible meta.
That meta was horrible, but the mobility was obviously right at the start when Spider-Man when it had 80 charges. But now we just get unlimited mobility all the time. So like 80 charges doesn't feel like as bad as unlimited.
Yeah, but you're not taking a shotgun. So
no, I know that season like wasn't as fun, but Chapter 4 was just impossible challenge to find any metal anywhere. It was just like the whole top left of the map was basically just no one landed there. It was just you had to fight for caches at every game. Like I don't know. I think Chapter 4 gets hyped because victory cups got added, not because the actual map was good.
Just from a pure playing perspective, not even like an analysis perspective, I hated playing in Chapter 3, and I very much so thoroughly enjoyed playing in Chapter 4. Just playing solo cash cups. I don't enjoy victory cash cups anywhere, so it's not like the victory style.
No.
I really didn't enjoy playing much in Chapter 3, and I think that was showcased a lot through the player numbers and the interesting competitive Fortnite and content throughout Chapter 3. Especially when it came to like Chapter 3 Season 3, whichever one had the even more overpowered SMG after. It was like the SMGs just got worse as they went on. The spray weapons were crazy. It was the first implementation of real first-person ADS weapons, and they were broken, so busted. Yeah, the MK7, the mythic MK7, which is crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think we look back because we played a lot, right? We played a lot of Chapter 3, and we look back and we're like, oh, it was so fun, but like it wasn't.
No, see, I think you look through like shit tinted glasses. Like I actually think you're just
Jesus.
I think like the reason you didn't play the reason you play Solar Cash Cup now, in my opinion, in comparison to the last one, is because there's a sense of qualifying. It's 2 hours instead of 3 hours, obviously, because 3 hours was and it was 3 hours to top 100 for finals. Now it's 2 hours to top 7K, 10K, whatever it is, 8.5K, whichever season. So there's more of a like chance to qualify. So playing in solos is more rewarding. You have tournaments consistently. There's so many tournaments nowadays, and there was in Chapter 4 as well with the Zero Build Cups coming into the game, and with Zero Build was a little bit at the end of Chapter 3 as well. But I think in general, like the way I see Chapter 3 was just it was so like elitist that like even heats was harder to qualify to, Solar Cash Cups were harder to qualify to. You had Elite Cups, which obviously contender and challenger cups people got stuck in. I think it was so like catered towards like high level players, apart from obviously some of the spray weapons which did get nerfed eventually, or some didn't, but I think it was just that's the reason why, is because as a player who comes top 2K in every tournament, it didn't mean anything to you. But nowadays, if you're a top 2K player, top 2K, even if you're a top 20K player, realistically, going to top 2K or going to top 8K for a Solar Cash Cup is much easier than going to top 100. It didn't actually feel rewarding to play competitive back then for low level players.
Yeah, but I still think that's shit. Like, I don't care about that now though. Like, I don't care about like the Solo Cash Cups. I actually always hated like a top 7 or 11K qual. Like, I hate all that now. I don't think it's rewarding.
But the average player likes 7K. That more because they can qualify.
They do.
Do
but
you
I
actually
think that's
hate
good,
it though?
so.
Do you?
Yeah,
I swear. Like the last 2 chapters has been the only chapters where us as shit players in our shit tinted glasses are actually relevant to be able to have some sort of like worthwhile tournament to compete to. Like I'm like, hell yeah, dude, I can qualify 7.5K and I feel happy about it. I get the.
You're on a
but you shouldn't feel happy about it, bro. Like, shouldn't you feel happy about being like, I'm a top 7,500. Yeah, let's go.
You get to play the finals.
I used to tweet out every single time I qualified and counted. So.
But like it's like how you said. I feel like I think Victory Cups, like all solo Victory Cups in particular, is like the best format they've ever created, just because you still get the feeling of like the intense games in finals. Like even for like pros, like they're still like obviously we had the whole like 40 bomb thing and all that, but like when you watch these tournaments and everyone's streaming them, like it's still intense. The games are good quality because it's like everyone's trying to play for the win. And like just that ability to make regular people like us feel there's like I know what you mean, Reese, because when you look at it in reality, yes, you came top 11K in a tournament. That's not impressive, but the feeling of qualifying to a final, even if it is a bit Mickey Mouse, like it's still satisfying.
Yes and no. And I think I'm qualifying. I think for the vast majority of people, I absolutely agree with you, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll make it to top 7K, 11K, whatever it is. And that's why I think Victory Cups are so good for Fortnite. Like I'm not disagreeing from a holistic point of view of the whole community. I'm saying me personally, like, the thing I like about Solo Cash Cups is playing a 3-hour, 10 game, trying to place as good as I can in opens. Like, I want to get like a PB placement. Like, I'm trying to get like my best like Solo Cash Cup placement on keyboard and mouse was like 450th or something like that, right? And I'm like, I want to get top 400 or something like that. It's harder now because of the format and everyone doesn't suck ass. But I'm always trying to get better placement in that regard. I don't really care about qualifying to finals, me personally, from that regard. So that's why when I look back at like older chapters, I'm not looking at it like, oh, I don't think I was very good because now there's Victory Cups and they're better. It's like, no, I just didn't enjoy playing the actual metas.
No, I get that. What I'm taking out is not that well, I did say a little bit, but as you said, you don't care about the Victory Cup qualifying. I was saying more that it got more people interested, which made it seem like it got more viewership. It got more people wanting to play competitive because your average Joe can now make $100 from Fortnite. You can get earnings from playing a game. It has never been easier to make earnings in Fortnite.
Yeah, no, like Victory Cups definitely made like the game feel more lit in terms of just people being involved and stuff. We kind of got a bit sidetracked. Boop, you ready? You ready for your this or that?
Sure, I'm ready.
So, Boop, you have current players.
Mm-hmm.
To begin, Paris or Reet?
Reet. That one's easy.
Reet or Iomzo?
Ooh. How much do I value NA West? That's the question. I mean, it's got to be Reet. He was the only one that was closest to taking out Peterbot last season. Reet's the GOAT.
Reet or Clicks?
Is this only competitive wise?
Yes. Like,
how do I feel about
right
them?
now,
Okay.
who do you want to play with? Like, who's the best right now?
Ooh. Click's been cooking lately, but what is Click without Veno? That's the question, yeah?
Well, look at the past 2
You
seasons.
got to pick one.
Reet.
Reet over Clicks. Okay. Reet or Vanyak?
Vanya.
Vanyak or Chap?
Vanya.
Vanyak or Vico?
Is it
No
perfect
bias,
Vanya
no
speaks
bias.
English?
Yeah.
Like perfect English? I feel like no Vanyak. Has to be Vanyak. He's too good recently.
Vanyak or Maz?
Vanyak. That one's easy.
Vanyak or Hoyo?
Hoyo fell off. Vanyak all the way.
He was in GOAT conversations 2 weeks ago. Like, I'm not going to say anything. He was in GOAT conversations.
I mean, we would talk shit about them, and then they won that week of FNCS
Yeah.
that I missed, by the way. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's got to be Vanyak, man. He's on an upward trajectory with no stopping so far.
Vanyak or Teeny?
Vanyak.
Vanyak or Malabuka?
Ooh, the old goat versus the new goat. It's gotta be Malabuka. Longevity.
Malabuka or Peterbot?
Currently, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about the Peterbot fall off, man. It's actually crazy. I'm joking.
Bro, when Grimgate got removed?
Yeah, Grimgate's gone now. Like, they do land in the same spot. Malabuka is like, it's always like he's either like 15th or like 1st, you know? I never have faith in him in an FNCS.
Reese left.
Well.
Reese couldn't watch.
Yeah,
this.
Reese he cannot handle that.
Yeah.
Oh, the Americans are gonna be. This is gonna be such an NA versus EU conversation as well. I just know it. I'm gonna say Peterbot.
Okay. Peterbot wins. You're this or that.
Oh, Boop, you've let us down. You let us down.
Hey, Levin told us about the statistics of how many North American viewers we have. I gotta keep retention up, man. The views are steady. We gotta keep them going. Come
I
on,
think
man.
that
Subscribe.
There was a couple in there that I was.
What did you not like?
Yeah, say it to my face with my
Yeah,
shit-colored
yeah.
glasses, huh?
Yeah. Shit tentacle. Let's get it right.
Yeah, shit
first of all.
tinted. Yeah, there you go, my bad.
Re over Iomzo, I thought was interesting. And
I mean, Yomzo's been too good recently. I don't know. Yomzo, well, assuming he's not playing with Tayson. Oh, actually, yeah.
well, he is
I'm just
playing
like
with
Yomzo by
Jason,
himself.
so-
Yeah. Honestly, the way I looked at it was like, who would I pick to play with me? That's the way I looked at the
Well,
whole
yeah,
list.
of course you're picking the controller player. Like,
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
that input's
That's
so
why
OP.
that's why I tackled. I was like, okay, if I had to pick a duo to play with, I would pick, Reed over Yomzo.
And then I think there was, I don't know, I think it was Chap and Teeny, both of them. I was like, I don't know. I think
It was
they're both-
Vanya over Chap and Vanya over Teeny.
Yeah.
There's no way you're picking either of them over Vanya.
I mean, it's close. I think it's very close.
I don't mind that.
Especially-
I mean, have
Can
you
you
seen the
imagine
placements
Boop trying to-
after Nitro?
I was gonna say, can you imagine Boop trying to teeny strat, bro? Teeny piece him up and Boop just miss every bullet. It's like,
Okay, why are you throwing stones from glass houses, motherfucker? What do you mean? Oh, what
Hey.
group?
How's
Hey,
Boop missing shots of resub
Yeah,
damage ratio?
oh,
Just
20,
coming in
20,
real quick.
20. This combat
I
shotgun
could
is
be
just
missing.
Dead?
I could be missing all the bullets I want. I'm playing, and Boop's just saying he's gonna play.
No, you're hitting.
Yeah,
You weren't
we
missing. You
all-
actually
yeah.
hitting just minimums.
I'm playing the tournaments. Boop's not, man. I can
I
say
wouldn't
anything
consider
I
what
want.
you're
like-
doing as playing. That's it.
I want to see a bet between us four in the next solo victory cup. I want to see like who places higher out of us four.
We can do it for the last one. I'll play the last one of the season.
Oh, no,
You put a bet up.
I'm retiring.
No, Levin says that, and you just know he goes to Monday 6 o'clock, and it's like, what else? I'm doing
the restrat now. I'm dominating Middle East. Like,
oh, we'll do it on Middle East, and that's fine, perfect. We'll do it all on Middle East.
So boring, man.
I mean, yeah, because you sit in the bush.
Yeah. I do that on EU anyway.
Every fight, though.
So do I.
I sit in a bush on EU. Sitting in a, what's the difference? Sitting in a bush on EU.
Yeah.
Oh man.
How many weeks has everyone qualified to this season? I know people you haven't played, but
I am a 12-time solo castle qualifier in lifetime. I can tell you that.
All right.
I told you I count lifetime.
How many this season?
I called the last one.
11. How many?
It's a very specific answer on that one, by the way.
Well, I can't remember. I think that's the first one I called this season. I can't remember if I've done another one or not.
Oh no, 11.
11. No talking.
All right, next topic. We got. I wanted to talk about Haris. Actually, we mentioned him obviously there. You skipped past him. I sort of want to do like a segment each week where we just like big up one player. I kind of want to give it to Harry because you know Harry's always watching like the random tier 3 teams and shit. So maybe we give it to Harry every week. But I did want to start.
I was watching Resub this week.
But Haris is definitely not tier 3. That guy is insane. Last season you were hyping up Skivvy and Haris a bunch. Harry and
one season too soon.
Yeah, one season too soon. Obviously their season sort of fell apart and it wasn't quite what we would have expected from them. But Haris is now playing with iDrop, and they've been going from strength to strength. They've, Haris individually has looked incredible. And where he came up on my radar was just because I was watching. I was very, very bored one day, and I happened to catch Spen streaming like Noble scrims. Shout out to Noble.
Noble mentioned.
And he got 2v1'd by Haris, and it was like the most. Like when you watch something, you're like, there's no way somebody should win this fight. Like there is no way. And I remember after like the fight, I was like, Booger is in this lobby. Like who the hell was that? And iDrop jumps in the chat and he was like, yeah, it was Haris. And then everyone starts telling me all these crazy things. I saw like a screenshot from like the most recent eval. I don't know if it's an eval, but like from the most recent eval, I think Haris had like a 7 damage ratio or something very silly. Insane. Yeah, like insane stuff. There was a stat that was floating around that he was the only player, I think, to be top 3 in like damage of like every round of FNCS or something along those lines. Maybe I'm getting a bit off. Yeah. But like that is insane. Like the guy's been Booger this season, essentially, is the point I'm trying to get across.
I mean,
absolutely insane.
It's been crazy. It's been crazy, and like the first time I had heard of Haris was in mid chapter 4 when he was always in looking for duo tweets, and all you would ever see in his placements was him playing with the other Balkan players, right? Yeah. And he was kind of known as a player who had like quite a big ego because he wouldn't play with like lower level players because all his placements were with like Vasquez, Queasy,
like filling with his friends.
Yeah, he was just it was like end of season duo cash cups and placing in all of them, right?
Yeah.
And then obviously him and Skivvy play, and it was like Skivvy who had just come off in chapter 4 back-to-back grand finals, coming like 10th and 20th and playing with them, and you could see he was an incredible player. And from what it seems like, it seemed like Haris needed an aggressive player to play with, like an aggressive IGL who's willing to make those plays, and we've seen what he can do now. These numbers are on levels that are like, it's like crazy to like Vino level. Obviously, he hasn't done it in a finals or like a grand finals or anything like that, but he is topping. It feels like he's like cheating or something, like because he is actually just or he has some like some strat to get more damage. Because it's like, how is he number 1 every single tournament of every single round, no matter what? And it's just like he's just become such an insane player. And I drop a player who is, he's no like slouch of his own. He can hold his own very much in fights and everything like that. And going from strength to strength, and especially where they're landing in the dash water, where you can dash onto teams, fight, you can do all these type of aggressive plays, right? I think it just plays to his strength massively.
No, 100%. I think when I'm like looking at like who are the best individual players in EU right now, right? Obviously, like Chapintini come to mind. Obviously, a lot of people throwing Swizzy and Vanyak in there. Haris for me, from what I've seen from him this season, is right up there with anybody this season so far. Like, he has been incredible. And so it'll be interesting to see, like, sort of where that then materializes. Because the problem is when you look at a bunch of people I'm like comparing them to, or I'm comparing him to, a lot of those players are like in the contention to like win FNCS. They're like that type of caliber right now. I'm still not sold that that's iDrop and Harissa's level. But in terms of like individual performances, yeah, I've not seen stuff like this for a while.
Yeah,
this is really, really impressive. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to watch much. But...
I've not watched his games straight on yet, but it's on my to-do list this season because I keep an eye on the Kinch tweets about damage every single time. And I know damage is not like the best indicator of who is the best player at all by any means, but it's pretty damn good. You know, if you keep seeing the same names at the top of the leaderboards every single week, every single tournament he tweets it, I'm like, okay, there's obviously something to this. It's not just mindlessly double king everyone. There's obviously a talent here, especially when you look at damage ratios, like Harry said, and like you said, Levin, and there's like something obscene, like a 7 damage ratio somewhere.
Ratio in an eval is just silly to me. I don't, like that's
what
just
the hell, like that's insane. So it's been on my to-do list. Might have to make a little mechanics of the pros of him at some point to see how he's cooking things up here, because I just keep seeing him over and over again on every single one of those damage leaderboards.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this chapter is his first grand finals. You know, he's made back-to-back grand finals with Skivvy, but that's his first grand finals ever, and to see a player like that, and it's always crazy, right? Because we always get to a point in Fortnite and we're like, oh, it's been solved. You know, new players aren't going to come up again. You know, we're going to just have the same. Like for a long time in EU, we had that. We had the same players over and over again at the top of the leaderboard, and this just seems part of the new generation of players. You know, you have your chaps. You know, we have Haris as well now. We have a bunch of players who are now coming up onto the scene, who are now performing. You know, obviously Vaniac and Swizzy as well, who are like starting to perform well, and it's crazy to see like how much further Fortnite can go. And as you said, Reese, it's like damage doesn't mean everything, right? Because if you're dealing that much damage but you're taking a bunch, it doesn't mean a lot, right?
Yeah.
But if you are literally top 5 damage ratio in every single tournament, no matter what, you're gonna be one of the best, because when you look at those damage ratios, it's always the best fighters.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's also rare to find someone like that has good work ethic. I feel like when iDrop, Haris and Skivvy played together, they played literally every scrim session possible. Every single session they did well in. They won each session as well. But then when it came to actual tournament results, they couldn't really translate it. But maybe that's more of a duo issue and not being able to, like, you know, find the correlation between practice and real games. But now that he's found someone that, you know, has experience, yeah, it's basically just been blooming and blooming and blooming. And who knows where he can get. You know, it's crazy because at the start of Chapter 5, all of a sudden, if you looked at the Fortnite tracker, you just saw top 1 PR player, Haris.
Yeah.
Like, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
And there's most players like, who the hell is Haris? And, you know, until before last chapter, I don't think anyone would have said that name or recognized him. So, yeah, it's been insane to top the Fortnite tracker leaderboards. Not that it means too much, but like usually, like you compete with like Malibuka because he grinds everything, right? He plays every single thing. And to beat him is pretty impressive as well.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Haris. Haris is our player of the week. We gotta find a name for this if we're gonna do this.
Player of the week. Go on.
FNtasia spotlights.
Weekly awards. I don't know what we
FNtasia sponsored player of the week.
Oh, no sponsor. No sponsor.
He wins $100 courtesy of Harry.
He wins a Noble invite courtesy of the
free pass to W Key and Noble.
Yeah.
Don't give him that, mate. Don't give him that.
Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't even use it. I don't think he's a good Noble player, man.
Good Noble player.
Mentioned.
Reese, you saw a tweet this week.
I did indeed see a tweet this week.
Let's talk about this tweet.
Kick things off. Squat and Dog made a tweet this week, which was about basically the title line of it is a very long tweet, so I'm not going to read out line for line, word for word, but the first part of it said, Fortnite's #1 issue stems from how overpowered building is as a basic mechanic. Now, he said, let me explain, and there's not like a huge amount of explanation in the words that he says, but a lot of what it can be summed up as is essentially every fight comes down to ping, which is a massive part of the conversation here. He then goes on to list like all of the things that Epic has done to kind of counter building over time, which was, you know, a lot, as we can see here, you know, like SMG spam, heavy shotgun, boombox, blah, blah, blah. You can see there's a significant amount of things that Epic have done over time, which are classified as counters to building. And, you know, he goes on after this to say this is kind of why Zero Build was so popular, and which, you know, isn't untrue to an extent, because most of the people who play Zero Builds are just not that good at building to start with. However, at the end, there's a little bit of a kind of summary. It says, with this mindset, just look at each and every season and make your own opinions. I'm curious if they played with these types of materials more, wood, brick, and metal. So if basically Epic made changes to the builds, we could see more creative expression, which could cause less OP items and weapons. Like if wood didn't protect from bullets or something like that. Not sure. What do you think? So essentially, the crux of this tweet is, I think, not me, I'm just saying from Squatting Dog's perspective, I think that building is too powerful in Fortnite. Now, I have a lot of my own thoughts on this, but I want to get a round table here of what are like the first impressions. Do you think building needs to be changed in any way? I'm going to start with you, Levin. What's your thoughts?
So I don't think it needs to be changed. I always want to play devil's advocate in some way, and I like Squatting Dog. That's my guy. I interviewed him at Globals, met him a couple times. Like one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Super cool dude.
But
like it's because I hear what he's saying from that perspective of like, I think, because I saw the two as well, like I think what he was trying to basically cook was just that like they introduced turbo building way back when, right, in chapter 1 early on, and then they just sort of never did anything more with like trying to balance building and turbo building, and they left it how it was because at the time it felt fine. The problem then became that the game evolved mechanically to where like there became this incredible skill gap. But at that point, it was too late for them to do anything really to turbo building and building as it was. And so it's like, it's because one thing I'm sure people instantly just hate, like he wasn't objectively saying that like turbo building is bad. Like he's saying that like building is what makes Fortnite. Like he acknowledges that. I think what he's trying to get at is just the fact that like he would like to see maybe things done or tested that would make building less OP, in that we see Fortnite themselves try and combat this issue, right? When they add OP weapons, like things that just go through builds, you know, this season with fists and stuff. Like clearly this is something that like Epic themselves try and account for, but instead of like doing it through adding OP weapons, he's saying we should do it by trying to actually do something to builds, because that is why we have to do the problem. I don't agree with this, but I don't like. I think it was a bit hyperbole. Builds to me is not ruining Fortnite, because that is what makes Fortnite. Like if we take out that skill gap, do I acknowledge the fact that yes, like at a high as it advances, it's a hard skill. I don't think there's a problem there being a hard skill gap. It's a game. Like that's the whole point. Like games have there's skill gaps. I do hear what he's saying in terms of just like, in Fortnite, because of building, time to kill is much longer than like most other like shooter games and BR games, and so maybe like that is like something you play around with. But like I don't hate it, but I don't agree. But I like I want to let him cook. But the direction he went in when he started talking about ping, that's where he lost me. Where he lost me when he started talking about like ping and, you know, Zero Builds being popular. Like he lost me there. But like the first sort of bit of what he was trying to say, I didn't hate.
Yeah, like it is interesting, you know, when you think about Fortnite and how much they've changed, you know, from weapons every single season to map to even bullet travel now, you know, we went from hit scan to bullet drop, right? And the only thing that hasn't been changed is builds, you know, we haven't got we haven't got new build pieces. We haven't really changed a lot with like, you know, the actual materials, how they like, you know, the health they have or how they heal up or anything like that. It's kind of just these are the core mechanics and they're never going to change. So it's an interesting conversation to think about that sort of stuff. And of course with turbo building, right, it's like I'd be so interested to what the game would be like. I think fighting would be so completely different, but I don't actually think like actual Fortnite competitively would be much different with no turbo building. I still think endgames would look as chaotic as they do.
We just have more injured players because of
like the amount of clicking
you'd have to do would be insane.
Exactly.
There'd definitely be like double binds where you could like press another
macro it, surely.
Exactly.
People would that's also another thing. Yeah,
exactly. So I mean, it's an interesting conversation, and I think, you know, he's a game designer, so he will think about all sides of the game. And I think, you know, it's definitely one of those things that I don't think is a bad conversation to have. I don't think it's the problems we have with Fortnite, as you said, Levin. Like, he said it in a way which is like, you know, it's not like, oh, all these sweats and this and that. He said it in a very
Yeah.
constructive way where he's listed reasons and things Epic have done to try and nerf building. And what has ended up happening is they've been OP and Epic have had to, you know, remove them.
That's the bit I found most interesting, because I don't know if we have it, but like he made like a list of like all the things that they've added where it's clear they were trying to do something to combat, quote unquote, the builders, right? And like when you look at Fortnite history, they have constantly added items, weapons, and things like that, which makes like you open up that door of like, actually, yeah, maybe clearly Epic does acknowledge the fact that like, yeah, there's like there's something there that they feel like is maybe too hard, but again, they're just like so scared to touch building itself. It's like, I don't blame them. Imagine that you saw what they did when they changed movement. If they tried to change building,
yeah,
good luck. Good luck.
Oh my goodness! Imagine.
Leave your Twitter accounts locked.
Yeah, I wanted to say like, if you could change one thing about building, whether it's adding a new piece, whether it's adding a new like edit style, or whether it's like, you know, like lowering the amount of mats, what would you do?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
You do absolutely nothing.
Don't change what's broken, in my opinion.
I would add accessibility options for poor, like, well, poorer, that's not the right word, for lower skilled
Poor
players.
people?
Yeah, not poorer, but that's not what I meant.
Poor people can't build a house.
So, say for example,
as Bro says in his mansion, like he's just.
I saw like years ago. This was going to be one of my points I was going to come to on this tweet, where like there's a massive skill gap, sure, but you need to bridge the gap a little bit and introduce players into like how to learn to build to start with.
Yeah.
So say, you know, you could go on to like a simple build mode where it would maybe just do like a ramp, floor, wall. You know, it would give you like macro options, which if you were a good player, it would detriment. You know, you'd be limited in what you could build.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, I get that, but the problem with that would be obviously like the what's it called, the visual audio we have now. If Epic don't do it right, or as in I was gonna say, because like that helps, you know, that obviously helps, you know, more towards like deaf people and everything like that, but it's ended up becoming a core mechanic within Fortnite, right? And if you're just saying
there's no way,
it wouldn't
so
be,
like, yeah, what I'm saying is like, say you would go into your settings and you'd be like, I would be on newbie mode or whatever it's called, and rather than having wall like the 4 build binds, you would just have like 4 set build pieces that were like designed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought you were gonna say
it would be
like,
worse if you were like a good player, right? But it's just like, here's an introduction how you can do these things.
Yeah.
Okay, so I thought you were saying like you know, you could just, I don't know. I was gonna say like, because the one you said like the floor ramp wall is like, if you change your ramp to that, I actually think that would be, you know, that feels like quite nice to have, you know, as if you could constantly just instantly place a floor ramp wall every single time. It's like,
it have to be
quite
balanced the other way to where like nobody actually with hands would use that. If you
basically,
or specific to a game mode, right? I've always thought that there might be a future in having a game mode where you just limited builds or builds placed per second. For example, like having a game mode where turbo building just is just off, you know? That would be something that I think a lot of the build casual players would love. And then having an option where you would have infinite mats, but you could only build 4 pieces of building things in every 5 seconds, for example. And then it would be a continuous reload and reload and reload. Yeah. Like, those are one of the things you could counter like spam building. And I think that would make a lot of casual people happy, because I think a lot of people like zero build, but that's just because they don't want to build against sweats, quote unquote. But I think they do enjoy the building aspect of Fortnite. And to continue the conversation about the squad and dog thing, I don't think his issue is particularly with actual building. It's just the general skill gap, right? It's the skill gap, or sorry, Epic's issue isn't with general building, but it's with the skill gap.
Yeah.
Because they're not doing things to destroy building, they're destroying things to give worse players an advantage or equal the skill level in order for them to combat other people that have a higher skill level.
Yeah.
Now, we're looking at that through like a competitive lens, right? Which, you know, we shouldn't. We're talking about very casual people and people that play the game maybe like, you know, a few hours a day, not playing it for money. And then when you look at it that way, well, you know, these people that want those sort of items, it's fine. I think the issue that you have is that the average player wants to do well against people, right? But then you have this weird thing where you're always going to have one player be the best player in that lobby, and everyone else is going to be shit in comparison. No matter what elo you put people or what SBMM you have that at. But if you go into an elo where you're equally matched, well, then Fortnite's not fun anymore because, hey, I'm not shitting on kids anymore, right? That's my experience, for example, when I play like Arena or like if I go to high ranked arenas, like I'm not having fun anymore because everyone's trying too hard. Well, you're going to be that person that's trying too hard when you're playing against worse players. And that's not an issue Epic has ever been able to solve, is how can we match up similarly skilled players, but also make the experience for all people fun and make you feel more dominant, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's just video games.
Yeah, it's video games. Yeah,
I was gonna say but to go on to his point, like the points he's making is like, people like Fortnite not because they, as you said, like people don't want to play zero build, but they don't want to come up against sweats. So it's like it's the balance. It's so, as you said, I think the like either the cooldown with the building in a certain mode, maybe in pub specifically, or if you added no turbo build or anything like that, so people get the old feel of Fortnite. People like Fortnite because there was building. People didn't like Fortnite because there was no building. They liked it because they could build stuff and it would help a little bit in fights. But the problem is for the casual player, it's so far away from what old Fortnite or even what Fortnite could have been. It's like they don't even enjoy it anymore, so they have to play zero build. They're kind of forced into that way. So I definitely get it, and I do think there is like all these are fair points. I think adding some sort of like protection to, not protection to the casuals, but like as you said, like a cooldown or anything like that to kind of make it so less building happens would allow people to enjoy Fortnite a lot more again.
It's weird though, because it's like it's so I don't think, I wouldn't mind seeing things that don't be tried. I don't think those things necessarily solve the issue.
No, it's just paving. It's paving over it. Yeah,
crux.
Yeah, I don't think those things really solve the issue, because I've seen it even with zero build, right? Where like people who I know who are casuals, because I think a lot of the people this applies to, this conversation's important for, is like the people who just turn on Fortnite on the weekends. Like they're not playing it every day. They're not you know, like because again, the biggest answer I think a lot of the casual or the comp people listening to this will be like, "What are these guys on about? Just those people just need to get better." It's like it's different. We play the game for the most part like way more than like average people play the game. So it's different in that sense. I think the problem is that they can't do anything. Like they can't change anything about it now. It's just too late. Like I always said that Epic lucked into like the best mechanic in gaming history. Like completely lucked into it. And the beauty of that was that us as a community were able to take that mechanic so far and stretch its capabilities. I don't think they could have ever foreseen where it is now, but now it's just too late to retroactively change anything, because if you change too much, you lose, like people will be upset. You lose what it is. We already saw that a bit with like movement, but like that's nothing compared to changing how building itself feels, right? And it's the reason why I often just say I don't really expect to see them, you know, try anything new with building. So I don't know how you solve this problem, if I'm being honest. I don't know how you solve this problem. I don't know if you had more thoughts, Reese, in terms of like the posts and what he was saying to do, like the ping and stuff, but
yeah, so I think that's kind of a major point there to start with. I think so there's a real skill issue when it comes to ping to start with, right? Where I heavily disagree with the part of this tweet in particular, which says, word for word, it says, let me read this in. It says, the obvious problem is no matter how much you outplay someone when builds are part of the equation, ping becomes the judge, jury, and prosecutor. Now, that is, I think, just factually incorrect. Because if you are a player who is specifically relying on ping, say to replace a wall, you are not outplaying them to start with. Like that, so you're immediately like, there's kind of contradiction in that statement. Like if you get someone down weak and they box up and you just go and swing on a wall and can't replace it like 10 times in a row, and you say you don't have zero ping, so say you have like 30, 40, 50 ping or whatever, or even higher, and you're doing that, it's like, that's the play, that's on you to trying to make a bad play for your ping. That makes sense. So sure, ping becomes an issue. Like, I'm not going to sit and disagree to say like players with zero ping are at an advantage. They absolutely are. But if you're on low ping, like, or on higher ping, sorry, there's tons of high ping players who dominate. There's tons of players who go cross region, do well. Even in solos where you don't have the ability to have two players pinching and things like that as well.
Well, Harris, for example.
Yeah, exactly. All the Balkan players, like all the Russian players,
top 5 in NA events and shit,
exactly, right? And I think the idea that the ping is everything is just factually incorrect to start with, and I think that comes from a lack of like maybe understanding of box fighting strategies where. You might get someone weak in builds and you're like, oh, I'm just going to pickaxe his wall. I see the pros replace the wall. Like, why is that not working for me? And then they blame the ping rather than thinking, okay, maybe I have to try like other things. Like maybe I try pressure from multiple angles, weaken multiple build pieces and continually move around.
Yeah.
Like pressure the opponent to stop them healing to make them go for an edit where you can go for shot, or wait for them to edit and pressure them so you can phase into their box and finish the fight quickly. Like there's so many other things you can do if you're even on like 100 ping, not even just like lower. And sure, it makes much more of an issue, but I think the core issue in this tweet of like that I have a problem with is saying that ping is like the be all end all, and I think that's just factually incorrect. I think he makes a really good point here where he's talking about the Epic have continually tried to counter building because it is a problem, of course, right? And it is a problem because if you are new to the game and you're trying to learn building,
it's so hard,
so difficult, so hard. I have IRL friends who are like, "Hey, I want to play some Fortnite with you," and I'm like, "Sure, we're playing Zero Build."
Yeah, you can't introduce new people. I'm not
jumping into pubs with that. No, I'm like, "Hey, if you want to commit to learning builds, we can do that. I can teach you some stuff. We can jump in, but you'll have to practice." And that notion to like a casual player is just that's not fun.
That's one of Fortnite's big. Like I think sometimes we underappreciate this as people within Fortnite because we've been here and we saw how big the game has been. I think because we've seen Fortnite be the biggest game in the world for so long, we sometimes forget the fact that even though it is so big, there has to be growth and evolve, and it has to have evolution. Sorry, and part of that evolution has meant that now, like if you are new to the game, picking it up and just playing Battle Royale, like that's not a thing. Like for the most people just can't do that. I'm sure there'll be people in the comments like, oh, actually, Levin, I started playing Chapter 4 Season 3 and I'm already qualifying solo cash cups, mate. So take that. But it's like for the average person that just picks up the game, right? Like if you think from the lens of like the 14-year-old who just finished school on Friday and his friend said, hey man, you've ever played Fortnite? Come jump on. Every 14-year-old's probably played Fortnite. But if you imagine that kid, right? If that kid exists, what the fuck is he gonna do if they queue him into build? Like, what is he gonna do? I don't want to put anyone on blast. I know people who've been playing this game, because clearly not avidly, but playing this game for years, can't build well, or very basic building because they just play it so casually. Like it's not an easy thing to pick up, or as easy as maybe we feel it is. So I get why that is a problem potentially, but I just don't know what the solution is. Without changing the game too much and potentially ruining the community that already loves it. Like I don't know what you do.
So that's why I think what I call accessibility options, but I think that's probably not the right term because that's usually used for like disabilities and things like that. So
handicapped builders.
Yeah, that's not the way I want to word it. Yeah. That's why I think Epic has never implemented something that is trying to bridge the gap and teach people how to use these things really in any way. Like there was, I think, in one of the creative hubs at one point there was like a building tutorial.
I was going to say, there's no
more
tutorial.
Like a race and a course. Yeah, there's no tutorial for new players. There's no place for their practice. Like, why in the Epic section is there not just like a little practice hub where
introduction?
You can like, here's how you build. Here's some tips, like some basic stuff of how. Like we're like 6-7 years on in the game, and new players have none of that. And then
sounds like a new map we need to make.
I was about to say this is a new
sounds like something we could be cooking up potentially.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, how to build, like literally, like
how to build the
utter basics, and it's something I'm going to be working on for a video at some point because I want to like create. Here's just if you've never played the game, just watch this like 20-minute video and do all that
SEO
kind of stuff,
video.
Right? And, yeah, basically, right.
And the problem still, the problem still exists in that I feel like if you had something like that, and then Fortnite was a much more contained game. It'd be easier because like I think of games that have like complicated mechanics, right? Because somebody will then say to me, you're telling me League of Legends is easy to play for a first timer?
Yeah.
No, it's not. But because it's so contained, there's like better skill-based matchmaking. Obviously, I know people smurf and stuff, but like there's better to where like I can actually get into a place where I can learn and maybe have a couple games where I'm actually good because there's actually people worse than me. Like in Fortnite, when you are bad, like the nature of battle royales, like skill-based matchmaking means that like unless they just fill you up with a lobby of bots, which people don't like you're just never gonna be playing against people worse than you in a lot of cases, or even similar level to you. Like you're just always coming up against people who just smash you, and there's not really a good enough platform to practice. The nature of battle royale in itself is like you die, you're done. It's like there's not that like consistent practice where like when I picked up Valorant for the first time and I was terrible because I didn't know any of the abilities or the agents, it's like by round 10, trust me, I know my agent now. Like, I've figured this out. In a way that you just don't really get in Fortnite with a battle royale game. So even if you do add like better ways to teach people these things, for them to then go and put it in practice, which is where the majority of real learning comes through, still it is just very difficult. So
yeah,
absolutely agree. But it's like there needs to be something at least, like an attempt to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
So that then new players have somewhere where they can just look and go, like, oh, there's the tutorial. Here's how I learned to do this. Bada bing, bada boom, we're in. Then it's up to you. If you want to learn how to do it, go for it. If you don't, you don't. Like, then it's like, I play a lot of Pokemon Showdown, right? And it's an online battle simulator.
Yeah.
So it's how, like, a lot of players, like, practice for Pokemon, because if you're playing, like, competitive Pokemon, playing it on the actual Switch with someone else is a pain, because you have to actually, like, do all this stuff to build your teams, and it's really complicated. Whereas if you just go online in the battle simulator, you can just make your team and create it instantly like that, copy someone else's, paste it in, wherever it is. You basically, in order to do that in the real game, you have to modify your game in or spend out like days creating your team. So it's a pain in the ass, right? So I play a bunch of that, but I just use random battles, and they have like ranked random battle ladder. So I, as like someone who doesn't play that much of it, I just play random battles. They create a team for me. The other person's team's totally random too, and you got to strategize, you got to think about it. It's great. The level of complexity for me of, okay, I need to keep up to date with the meta, I need to build my own team, figure out what's going on right now, is a level of complexity that at the amount that I play is too much for me to be bothered to keep up with, right? Yeah. So I am the casual competitive player of that Pokemon simulator game. Yeah. So when I think about like the way that, the casual players come to Fortnite, I think of that same kind of system, and I'm like, there needs to be a place where you're at least learning some of the mechanics. Like Zero Build does that. Sure, you're figuring out, cool, like I know the map, I know the weapons, I'm getting an understanding there. But again, it is that gap of just building that needs to be bridged somewhere. And I have no clue what the fix of that is.
No, I'd like to see them experiment more with just trying to teach people things. And in general, we've always just needed more stuff like that, like in game. I remember the big complaint we always used to have, Reese, was like, there's no explainer for Storm Surge. Imagine like you are casual and you accidentally just get into the most stacked regular match of all time, and you just start getting ticked for Storm. You're gonna be shitting it. You're like, what is this? Like, what? 500? Like, what are they talking about? Like, things like this is like always been. We just need more information and more tools.
Well, just anything for a new player to, because we want Fortnite to thrive. It's like at the end of the day, we don't need for any game to thrive. You need new players to come in when the old players leave, or if they don't, then the game ends up dying.
And there's I always underappreciate how many new people that are like. Yeah. Next time you guys stream or something like just ask you. Even for this podcast right now, if you listen, comment down below when you got into Fortnite. The amount of times I'll see somebody be like, yeah, I got in chapter 4, late chapter 3. I'm like, why? Like, what got you in at that point that kept you around for today, for one?
Or OG season. Coming back for OG season.
I'm like, damn, like, so many people are new that are around right now. Like, the scene is majority filled up right now with people who, like, weren't here before chapter 3, it feels like, nowadays. So it's like, we need more new people.
I've had that a lot with people when Mongo came back. Like, you know what? I never watched Fortnite, I never played Fortnite. But when Mongo came back to the game, bro, now I'm here. Like, tell me what's up. Like, what's going on? Like, what's a scrim, dude? Like, what's going on here, man?
What is noble?
What is noble? That is actually a question I get a lot when people come back.
Well, no, it's an interesting conversation. Thank you, Squat and Dog, for the tweet. Not a lot of happy people, but still some interesting conversations there. There was a cash cup. I know we've not actually talked about anything that's happened in game for the most part. There was a cash cup last week. I'll be honest, I didn't watch it. Did any of you watch it? I wasn't here. I did not watch.
I watched EU mainly. NA, I didn't watch at all.
Oh, brilliant! So, Boot, can you speed run us through what happened in this cash cup?
Sure.
What was interesting?
So this was actually for me the best cash cup we've ever had of this season. You know, judging by you missed a good one. Yeah. But before we've had a bunch of a mismatched top of the leaderboard sort of cash cup with a bunch of people that you don't really recognize. But looking at this list and this top 10, the only team you probably might not recognize if you're not a fully competitive player is Sayas and Kiri, right? The Spanish team. The rest of them, those are names that you should probably already know by now if you're a competitive player. So this was pretty much the battle of Vico, Flixi versus Swizzy and Vanyak. Essentially, Vico and Flixi came out strong with an insane start. I believe it was a 15-kill win in the first game, and then they just kept going. They went into a 10-kill second, a 7-kill second, a 3-kill third, and a 10-kill third. So the placements were 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, essentially, which is awesome. Yeah. And then going to the last game, they died in 28th. So.
Of course.
So they didn't get the perfect history, but you had on the other side, you had the other type of consistency from Vanya and Swizzy where they got 22nd first game, and then they won a game, and then they won another game, and then they got 8th the next game, and then they won a third game. And after 5 games in total, essentially they were 3 out of 5 wins, and they were still 100 points behind somehow.
Yeah,
that is if I've won 3 games out of 5 and I'm not even in like close to first, I'm livid. That's crazy.
You need a 10-kill win last game with them getting a 0-point game to even get close to winning.
Pretty much.
That is crazy.
It's probably a format issue for them, but I don't know. I mean, just looking at the average eliminations, Vico Flix were just getting kills after kills after kills. And then both of them, it was a very exciting cast up until that point. And then they both died mid-game, and then it sort of sizzled off. But it really showed, like, hey, we have some potential contending teams to win FNCS. Obviously, Vanya and Swizzy of last season, they're already winning, but you just weren't sure about how good they were this season. And then Vico and Flixi, the mismatched couple of players that, honestly, I never believed in, because I thought, two brain cells together, that is only good at W keying. Is that really going to work out? But apparently they found the wave, and they found their method, and it's working out for them. So it's exciting.
Yeah, that is crazy. And the craziest thing about that, like looking at the leaderboards, Vico and Flixi had that match history, and they didn't even have the best average placement. It was CZB and Nathan. They had the best average placement.
I forgot about them. Yeah, they were also there.
Yeah, CZB and Nathan had an average placement of 5.6, and they came third.
Mental.
When you're getting second with 3 kills, 6th with 3 kills, 3rd with 5 kills, 2nd with 4 kills, then a 13th, and then an 8th, and you're still 130 points behind first. It's like you probably had your best finals ever. You finished it, you're like, fucking hell, like, we pulled off, we pulled something off here, and then you just literally 130 points behind. It's like I remember reading the replies to their tweet of it, and it was like any other week you probably just win. It's just like you're not even close to winning. But I think for them, like for CCB and Nathan, a team who's been like very good in opens for the most of this chapter, to be honest. You see them, and we talked about a bit Fortnite Tracker PR. They're also 2nd and 3rd in Fortnite Tracker PR, CCB and Nathan. So they consistently do well in every opens. But finals, you'd see them sometimes top 5. You see sometimes they'd have a bad finals. That can sometimes come down to Grand Glacier, and from listening to what they've said or hearing about it, it's like sometimes they just won't get DMRs. As it sounds like on Twitter, that's the biggest thing. Is if you don't find a DMR with a scope, you're just having a bad game. But it seems like here it shows what they're capable of, and they're actually a real team to talk, like a proper top team to talk about. Now, not a team you expect to 20th or 25th. They've pushed themselves to a point where I think they're in a conversation, maybe not to win, but for globals definitely.
The thing is also that what made this cash cup so good was the amount of points everyone was getting. So I'm going to compare last FNCS weekly finals to this duo cash cup. First place last FNCS weekly finals had a grand total of 217 points. Yeah. First place duo cash cup had 465. And then second, 214, 367, 210, 334, 194, 278. Top 10 was 188 points. Top 10 was 156 points in FNCS. So, like, it was actually one of the casts was like, okay, well, we have some teams that are actually cooking and doing well. Probably it's because there was first meta without Nitro Splashes that actually mattered, not like an FNCS weekly final. So, it was a great tournament. I loved it.
On the NA side of things, I looked at the leaderboard and I thought it was like an old leaderboard because it was like the same as like every leaderboard Clicks and Venom got another win, which is nice for the Clicks and Venom fans. Now they're gonna be like so overhyped going into I'm pretty sure in NA, like amongst like NA conversations, like they are like the favorite right now to win FNCS for a lot of people.
Who's saying that?
I'm pretty sure I'm seeing.
I'm saying that. I'm saying that.
To be fair, there's like Clicks fans might be infiltrating some of those conversations, and we really know how influential they are. There's a lot.
I'm saying Clicks and Venom's winning as well. I love the Clicks fans. I love them all, man.
But they are like, I mean, I don't think they are, but it's understandable why you would put them. They've won so much this season, and Clicks never wins anything.
I think we got to have the real discussion here, which is why is Batman Booga running this region right now?
Yeah, he is the Booga of the lobby. He is the
real Booga now. He's no longer Batman Booga.
No. He is Booga now.
Yeah,
like he's not.
Where did this happen?
Like in terms of the Booga rankings on NA, Batman Booga is high.
On top, yeah.
So
he's gotta give the name over. Surely you gotta give the name.
Wait, just let me. I've just opened their Fortnite tracker.
Yeah,
right?
his Fortnite tracker is insane. I just saw
it's not. So this is the 4th Geocache Cup, right?
Yeah.
They won the first one. They didn't qualify in the second one, which is disappointing. They won the second one, and now they've come second in the last one. So first didn't qualify, first, second. In qualifier 2, they placed in the 4 rounds, third, first, second, third.
What?
In the first qualifier, they placed 5th and won one of the earlier rounds as well. Like, why these guys have just appeared all of a sudden?
They still land Grimgate. Grimgate's OP. Like I just ignore what I said earlier. Like ignore that bit. But Grimgate's OP, obviously.
I think I said this on the pod last week because I noticed like every leaderboard I was looking at in NA, Batman Booga was just at the top every time. It was like what?
Yeah. The thing is, they were always good, but they played NA West. I think they were playing high ping, right? I think they were like 56 ping players, and now I think Batman Booga's finally playing 0 ping NA Central. So like maybe Scoring Dog had a the ping is mattering. This is exactly the type of thing I'm talking about. Like it's not gonna make a shit player good 0 ping, but a really good player going from like 50 ping to 0 ping, it could completely change them. Right? They could potentially win an FNCS just off the fact that now there's 0 ping because they can hold walls, they can kill people. They've always been performing. They make globals on high ping as well, as far as I believe. So, yeah, Batman Booga owns an A.
So the squatting
just shows how shit an A is. That's it. That's it.
The squatting dog was right. Ping carries everything. At the end of the day, it all comes back to ping.
We actually can't have Batman Booga win an FNCS because the Booga fans will try to claim it. It's like, his name's Booga and he just won FNCS.
How does this affect his legacy?
Oh, we're going to get more Booga hate comments.
Okay, Levin.
I love Booga, guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say for the people who are about to say I'm a hater. I love Booga. He's my goat. I love him.
So how would one introduce Batman Booga winning global championship? Like, how can you make that hype? That's the issue. Like the marketing here is bad. Like Booga, but you gotta put Batman before that. Also,
just call him Batman.
Like a T West thing. I don't know.
We at globals, you just have a bit of compartment under the stage. Just in case Batman Booga wins. And out, just like this, right? I nearly fell over. Oh. Out pops Golden Boy. Batman! Booga! It'd be crazy.
I thought you were going with a Batmobile under the stage.
Flying out of like a cage or something.
We really do need Golden Boy ready just in case Batman Booga wins. Because that
100%.
Batman Booga... Unreal. I can't do that.
Be able to relive it. That would be insane.
That'd be crazy. Outside of that, nothing really interesting in it. I did scroll down a bit and I saw Vico and Flixie there. I was expecting to see a couple more EU players doing well in this Cash Cup, but at this point now, I just don't even care. I think Gripey and Reason as well did all right. They're in 16th here, so some EU players played and did all right.
There's an EU player at the top of the leaderboard. It's an EU team. Venom Clicks.
Fair enough.
Right. 2 out of 3 of them are EU. You got Blood X and Vino, so it's basically an EU trio at the end of the day.
That is very, very true. You are actually cooking. Hopefully there's something. I don't even think there's any tournaments next week. So
no.
There's ESL. That's the only thing coming this weekend. There's the ESL qualifiers. There's close qualifiers for Saudi this weekend. Basically, you had to collect a bunch of points through qualifiers, and that's it. And now a lot of the people that did well in Dallas also invited. And I just got word today there's going to be a not broadcast, but a clean feed. So we'll actually be able to watch it because they weren't actually going to do it.
You're going to be streaming it?
until I asked them to. Yes, of course, I will be streaming it.
Where can the people watch that stream?
You know, twitch.tv/CoachBoop, or just follow that thing right there, you know, boom.
There you go. There you go. If you want to follow ESL, be sure to watch that this weekend, at the time you're listening to this. Yeah, let's wrap it up, man. Let's football. I want to watch the Euros. There's nothing happening in the Fortnite.
The Netherlands is losing. Oh, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. At the time they were listening to this, they would know the result. So,
yeah.
Do you have anything to say in advance?
2-1. It's gonna be 2-1 Netherlands. Like, come back to this.
Let's see. Let's see. All right. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. Harry, what are you up to? Where can the people find you?
You can find me at down here. Oh, wrong side.
Wrong side,
buddy. Oh, there we go. That side. Yeah, I Coach Harry _ on Twitter. I might be. I hopefully will be back streaming once my cough has gone. Coach _ Harry. I don't know what.
I've seen him cough once this
No,
stream.
no,
I know. I'm
one
muted. I'm muted every time.
He hates his viewers.
He did not cough.
Yeah.
Bro's just lying because he doesn't want to stream.
I'm just a barefaced liar, you know. But no, we'll see. I don't know. I'll just be chilling. I'm going away on holiday later next week, so that'll be fun.
Okay.
Holiday from not streaming.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta take another break, you know.
Holiday? You've not been working? Every day's a holiday?
Hold on.
The TV's angled to his bed as well, by the way. It's been moving.
Of course.
Reese, what are you up to, bro, this week? What's happening?
Well, I said this last week. Stop asking me this. I'm just making videos and going to the gym. Like,
Yeah,
I got nothing. I got no interest in updates ever. I'm just trying to come up with some topics. That's it.
Okay, guys, give Reese some topics in the comment section down below for some videos.
Do it. Do it. I'll
Message
be
Reese
reading through
all
the
your
comments.
hot takes. He'll read it all.
Definitely don't do that.
And if you want
Don't
an
do
unban
that.
from Noble as well, just message him too.
No.
Yeah, I'll send your message to Boop. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Boop. Same to you then.
I mean, I just said it anyways. When you're watching ESL, probably trying to find something to do in this time. Maybe host like a creative tournament. I think it's been a while since I have a good old good 1v1 tournament. I think I'm down to do that this break.
Yeah, we ain't had many of them. All right, well, we'll be back next week. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.